With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Fox News reports that Jeff Bezos has unveiled a plan to send a spaceship to the moon. Bezos says his company Blue Origin will land a robotic ship the size of a small house.
6 months ago, he had planned to send 2 spaceships to the moon, but then the messy divorce came about.
Yep.
Tighten your belt.
Capable of carrying 4 rovers and using a newly designed rocket engine and souped-up rockets. It would be followed by a version that could bring people to the moon along the same time frame as NASA's proposed 2024 return. He said in a clip when he sort of introduced this whole thing, it's time to go back to the moon, this time to stay. Here's a quick 20-second clip.
We also have already a bunch of customers for Blue Moon, many of whom are in the audience. They're going to be deploying science missions to the moon as well. People are very excited about this capability to soft land their cargo, their rovers, their science experiments onto the surface of the moon in a precise way.
So he's going for it. I think it's a little Bezos versus Elon.
Let me get philosophical for a second. I love the private sector, and I also love can-do guys. I think we make a big mistake in going, what do you do? I'm an attorney. What do you do? I'm a doctor. I'm a fireman, whatever. No, there's can-do, and there's lazy sacks of shit. Can-do people can apply to anything, anytime. I would never, Jimmy Kimmel's a can-do guy who we used to eat. When I met Jimmy, he was not a foodie.
Right.
And when I met Jimmy, I would get like a 2-for-1 coupon at La Tortilla, like some bad chain joint on the corner in Eagle Rock, and he'd be like, all right. And we'd go over there at 11 o'clock and hammer that thing. Like, I get one entree. Yours is free, buddy. I mean, we would eat at these crappy chain, whatever. There was a all-you-can-eat sushi place that was like a buffet sushi.
Todai.
Todai.
That doesn't exist anymore.
We would go to Todai.
And you go there to die?
Yeah, exactly.
We would go to bad all-you-can-eat places. I mean, again, Binions and get a $1.99 steak and potato. Foodie, but he's can-do.
Right.
Yeah.
So back then, he was like worried about his comedy career, and that's where all the focus was. And we didn't have much money, so we would sit in Todai and load up on, it was like $13, all you can eat. It was all Japanese food. Max Pat is nodding his head over there feverishly.
That's where we used to go for like special occasions.
That was a big,
big ticket.
It was big ticket for us too. But once in a while we treat ourselves to Todai.
Yeah.
And we'd eat crappy Japanese food, and Jimmy didn't care. But then at a certain point, he got his career going, and he started kind of turning toward food and making pizzas and barbecue and stuff like that. And now he's a goddamn expert. So if you said, who would you like to cater your wedding? The answer would be Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Yep.
But why? He
great.
does jokes. He's a
What does he
monologue.
know
He's
about
from
it?
The Man Show. Yes. He's taken the same drive, intelligence, and studiousness, and he focused it in another direction. And that's what you see Branson and Bezos and all these guys do. They they go, you obviously have to be the smartest guy in the world to invent Amazon. And now, what the fuck's the difference? You're not flying the rocket ship.
No.
You're the idea man. You're the engine behind it. So,
And remember, Amazon was a bookseller. It was an online bookseller. That's all it was.
My thing, conversely, is the government's been working on widening the 405 for 9 years, and it's actually hurt traffic. And it's like, okay, we don't want those people doing that. I want this guy doing that, and I like this world. So it used to be rich guys were like Greek shipping tycoons and stuff. And then once they got rich, they're like, what do you want to do? I want to be blown by Jackie Kennedy on a yacht.
Can do.
While I'm drinking out of a brandy snifter.
Well, you're a rich guy,
They did rich guy stuff. The new breed
Innovative.
of rich guy are nerds.
Follow the folly.
They're not fucking into the chase and the pussy and the booze and the drugs and everything else. They're just nerds, and they want to fix stuff and
great.
be better and do stuff. And I love the new, like when you go like, does this one guy deserve all this money? Hey, if this one guy's getting us to the fucking moon,
then yes,
and it's 3 cents to the dollar that NASA spends, then yes, I will be fine with that. And if the other guy's solving traffic by tunneling through the Sepulveda Basin, yes, let him have all that money.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Ultimately,
And
it's a good investment.
Big picture, you just take rocketry. And you go, it's like, well, NASA's in charge. NASA's got a monopoly on that. It's billions of dollars. We have huge facilities with hundreds and thousands of employees and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just pretend the government is sort of NASA, whether it be schools or Caltrans or widening the freeway or whatever infrastructure, whatever. Let's start farming some of this out.
Yep.
Let's start getting the private sector going here. We'll have checks and balances, but let these guys go at
They're
it.
incentivized.
Yes.
And isn't the government embarrassed?
They should be shaming.
I mean, it's really shaming.
I got to tell you, the government can't be embarrassed like lawyers can't be embarrassed. Like if you ever get into a room with a bunch of lawyers, you go, you blood-sucking leech,
Ambulance
douchebags,
chaser.
all start laughing. yeah, that's what all the other guys are. All those other lawyers, but not me.
I'm the good lawyer.
They have that feeling.
Wow. All right. Well, Brian, I have some news that I think is going to probably affect you more than Adam.
Let's hear it.
Pro wrestling legend Ric Flair in the hospital in serious condition after suffering an undisclosed medical emergency. 70-year-old Nature Boy is in Atlanta and had to be rushed to the emergency room where his condition is described as very serious. Flair recently married his fifth wife and had a medical scare in 2017 when he was in a coma for 11 days due to a ruptured intestine. But TMZ Sports reports that Ric's wife, Wendy Barlow, says he's expected to make a full recovery.
There's a great 30 for 30 on him called Nature Boy, which I recommend. It's very interesting.
He had a great robe.
It did.
I did not see that 30 for 30.
It's excellent.
How long is it?
I'm going to say it's about 90 minutes, maybe a little less. I'll look it up.
Trying to figure out what lengths 30s for 30. I know I
Not
got
30.
this stupid argument with Mike, but I mean, are they, some I feel like are an hour and some are 90? Or can they be random? Can they be 81 minutes?
Well, wasn't it 30 films for 30 years is the original idea behind 30 for 30? So the 30 didn't.
No, it didn't, but I'm still, the length seems to vary a little bit.
It
That's
does.
all I remember when I was talking to Bill Simmons.
They average about an hour.
Talking to Bill Simmons years ago. I was going, they should do a 30. We should do a 30 for Paul Newman Racing. He's like, hey, that might be good for a short. I said, how long is the short? 8 minutes.
Because they do 30
I said,
for 30 shorts. So.
How? It's Paul Newman. How could it be a short? He raced for 40 years. Yeah, it was short. 2 breaks.
This one's an hour and 17 minutes.
Hour and 17. So it is what I'm saying. It's just random.
Effectively, yeah.
It's
However long you need.
It's not 2-way time, which
I'm
is
guessing you can stream this on the ESPN app or on ESPN.com. It's really good. I liked it. Nature Boy.
to me, there must be something enticing about that format because anytime you just take a look at somebody's story, it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Well, the Mexican fast food chain Taco Bell is taking over Palm Springs, California, in the hotel and resort business. It's their latest promotional stunt. Reservations will be open in June. You can start checking in on August 9th, though we don't know how long it will be operating. It's basically a Taco Bell hotel. It's going to feature a gift shop with all their apparel and on-site nail art and hairstylings inspired by Taco Bell, whatever the hell that means. This isn't the first time that Taco Bell's invited customers to do this. They did this with an Airbnb in Canada.
It may be over.
Yeah.
When I was
Classic
a kid,
Palm Springs.
Can I say this real quick?
oh, I'm looking at it. Yeah, go
Christy,
ahead.
in the morning, woke up and looked on her phone and was like, oh, and like as I'm waking up, she's like, oh, there's a Taco Bell hotel in Palm Springs, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, why do you care? It's your new client. It's her client to talk about.
Christy, we have questions.
I know.
She says, this is Christy's Instagram. She says, no joke, I haven't had Taco Bell in 20 years, but when your new team at work orders Taco Bell delivery to celebrate their hard work launching a Taco Bell hotel in Palm Springs, you grab a Taco Supreme and dive in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Good for you guys.
So you guys are going to make a weekend of
I
it?
don't know about that.
Taco Bell started probably out here in SoCal. Some of the
San Diego?
maybe.
I'm thinking.
The guy's last name was Bell, right?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
so.
I remember as a youth There was one in Santa Monica on, God, what is the main? Not Cloverfield. When you get off, the one after
Bundy?
Cloverfield. We'll figure it out. I don't know if you
Centinela?
No. Oh, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, it's like original Taco Bells.
Lincoln?
But anyway, yeah, like Lincoln. I think it was Lincoln. And I used to go, we had a cousin that lived in Santa Monica in a small apartment because, we didn't know homeowners. But we would drive there and you would pass the Taco Bells. A little bit of a novelty because the Taco Bells, if you guys remember old school, had a big fire pit in front of them.
I remember the old
big
one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
brick, cinder block. It was like,
It was like a little hacienda.
yeah, it was like 4 feet off the ground.
Fancy.
It was big and round, and fire came out of it. Now, of course, everyone would take their plastic straws and singe it into whatever, and they stopped doing that. Taco Bell had the Bell Beefer, the much lamented Bell Beefer. Ooh, does Chrissy have any pullover?
She actually does now.
Let's get some Bell Beefers back on the menu. The thing that you would order from Taco Bell is the Bell Beefer, which is it's essentially
Can I get a picture of that, Chris?
It looks delicious. We were looking at it the other day.
Let's see it.
It's a sloppy Joe minus the slop.
Oh, it's on a bun.
Oh, it's like a sandwich.
It's a bun where you
Loose
put
meat.
taco meat and cheese and lettuce on a bun, and you just eat
Delightful.
the Bell Beefer. It's a sloppy Joe minus the tomato sauce.
This had to be a regional thing. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it was. Taco Bell was for
Right.
sure back then, and then
Talking about circulation probably
Right.
in the 80s.
we had the Bell Beefer. You could also order a cup. The frijoles, the beans.
Okay.
It had the refried beans in a cup with a little cheese on top.
delicious.
And a very good one that they don't have anymore. They do like different versions of it. They had a tostada. They had the flat one with the everything else on it. You get the tostada, you get the beans, you get the Bell Beefer. But where did they start?
Downey. And their first franchise was in Torrance. That's South LA area, north.
In the
Orange County.
60s? And
Yeah, 62.
Glenn Bell.
They must have got to Santa Monica not too far after that. And then the Taco Bell I applied at in North Hollywood had the old pit in front of it and everything. It wasn't a new Taco Bell.
Didn't they move and relocate that original? I remember that story.
They got rid of the pit. They redid the front and they put a drive-through.
Oh, I thought they did something with the actual structure
in it.
of the original.
No, they just kind of remodeled it. It's still in the same place. But either way, Taco Bell endures.
It does.
And the hotel is doing a takeover.
And why do we call it Mexican? I mean, it would be Tex-Mex, right? It's not
I don't know.
Mexican.
I
really couldn't
food.
tell you.
Come on,
It's
people.
morphed into everything else. Can I say I have one policy when it comes to either Taco Bell or pizza places, fat chain pizza place, Papa John's pizza.
Pizza Hut.
You may offer a dessert, but it needs to be a goddamn dessert.
Okay.
You taking broken up taco shells and putting sugar and cinnamon
sugar.
on there.
Yeah.
New cinnamon twist.
Yes.
This is not. And the new Pizza Supreme dessert.
Feeding
It
us
has
with trash.
marshmallows on it.
With
We-
leftovers.
Yes, we took a pizza crust and we smeared pudding on top of it. That is not dessert.
We couldn't sell this because it was broken.
So here's some chocolate chips.
Please go outside of your comfort zone and offer a piece of apple pie or some
Or
ice
flan,
cream
at
or
least.
flan, like something. Do not take more of what you already had. You sprinkling sugar on it does not make it a goddamn dessert.
Yep.
The pizzas are the worst. Like, you ever see like just a weird pizza dessert?
with the cream and
Yeah.
chocolate
Yes.
sauce.
Self-rising dough.
Although someone got themselves a promotion that day when they're having the board meeting at Taco Bell, and they're like, we're losing $1 million a year on broken taco shells.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Yes.
I'm here to save you all.
All right. Like Taco Bell. And they gave me a T-shirt because I wrote a book with their name on it.
And now you have art made out of Taco Bell sauce.
I do.
From a fan. Robert Pattinson is negotiating to replace Ben Affleck as Batman. Sources say the deal's not complete, but Pattinson is the studio's first choice for the upcoming superhero film, The Batman, due to arrive in the summer of 2021. Ben Affleck stepped away from Batman about the time he had a little problem staying sober. He was pegged to star and direct this movie, so it seems like he's totally out now.
It feels weird, these solo projects now, after having these total orgy Roman orgy type superhero movies,
Yeah,
and now it's like,
everybody.
oh, just the one guy. So what's the movie going to be, like 20 minutes? No, full regular movie, but just the one.
Yeah.
But he's got to meet the Hulk at some
Friends
point.
are going to help him at some point.
Yeah, it's like it's they've gilded the lily so much it feels a little empty now.
Yeah,
It feels like an acoustic set by your favorite band. You know,
It's the Pixar short before the movie.
right?
They'll put it before something. Well, speaking of which, Back to the Future, we're all fans, right? We're glad it hasn't been remade.
Fantastic movie.
Remember a few years ago there was
Perfect movie.
talk of remaking it with Justin Bieber? Glad that didn't happen.
God.
But it is getting a sort of a reboot on stage as a musical.
That's fine.
Stage
I got no
version
problem
will
with that.
premiere in next year in Manchester, England. Plans to move to London. The music will be a combination of the old and new. It's going to have Power of Love. It's going to have Johnny Be Good. Alan Silvestri, who composed music for Avengers Endgame, and Glenn Ballard, who wrote songs for Michael Jackson and Alanis Morissette, they are contributing as well. We'll see. We'll see how they get it up to 88 on stage.
Because Back to the Future is mostly set in the 50s, that movie totally holds up today.
No, that makes sense.
It's a fantastic movie.
But they have to get from the past to the past.
True.
God damn, writing a song. You know, you're Huey Lewis and you crank out a song in 1984 and
Yeah.
you get paid, but you just can't think of all the ways you could get paid for that song for how long.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
It
stage
endures.
production. It is.
Yeah. Well, there's a Huey Lewis musical.
Oh, there
That's
is?
being workshopped in New York.
That sound you hear is Jimmy Kimmel making making tracks for New York.
I was going to say, I can't wait. I know somebody who's involved, and they said, "Oh, if you ever want to see the workshop," I was like, "More than anything."
Huey, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
I love Huey Lewis.
Founder of Henry's Tacos. Son worked for Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Huey
so what-
Lewis?
Sorry.
No, I'm writing Adam a note. The founder of Henry's Tacos, which Adam is very fond of, his son worked for Taco Bell. They have a thing called a taco burger, which, looking at it, is basically a Bell beefer. So we can bring one over here. And we'll
Turn
give it-
Chris down.
Yeah.
And they have the tostada and all.
Don't make a run. I'm on a diet, but I like where your head's at. We'll definitely sample that.
You know, all the little girls were all into Jonathan Taylor Thomas and all the little Joey Lawrence. My two heartthrobs, Huey Lewis, Dennis Miller.
Well, first off, you picked two good-looking dudes.
Yeah, I think
there's
so.
nothing wrong with that. Guys are not bothered by that. We're bothered by the spindly guys who pout a lot, and you guys want to save
The
them.
Robert Pattinson.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yes, the Huey Lewis,
No.
good-looking guy,
Cleft chin.
6 foot plus.
Yep. And-
leading a band, no problemo.
And you know how you talk sometimes, like you were 10 and you didn't really know, what comedy was, but you kind of were starting to get the sense. I would watch Dennis Miller and my jaw would be dropped and I would miss every reference, but I knew it was funny and I couldn't stop watching it as a kid.
Absolutely. Somebody just tweeted me a picture of you. Anyway, every time I go to Jimmy's, I see him over there, and he just
That's so
couldn't be
great.
a friendlier guy than Huey Lewis. All right. What else, Gina?
Well, Mr. Ratburn from the children's show Arthur got married to another man, or male aardvark, in the show's 22nd season premiere. The episode titled Mr. Ratburn and His Special Someone starred Jane Lynch as a special guest. It aired on PBS. So the show begins with Arthur and his little friends discovering that Mr. Ratburn's engaged. The group then sees Mr. Ratburn having lunch with a very domineering woman, and they're determined to prevent him from marrying her, but there's a twist.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Sonny at school on Thursday got they had to do a here's what you can say and here's what you can't say. They had a discussion
Oh.
of
Okay.
happy words and sad
Proper
words.
nomenclature.
What you got?
He took umbrage with no homo. Just like
That's the hill he's going to die on.
saying I'm not gay.
Okay.
So I was like, and so he was saying, I had this funny conversation with him last night. He's like, do you know no homo? And I was like, yeah, that'd be like if a father was watching his son play Little League and he went, you look good out there, champ, no homo.
Right.
And Sonny's like, no, that's not how you use it.
Sounds right to me.
And, well, I think it was more the context of the father
I
talking
gotcha,
to
I gotcha.
to the son. And then I was like, oh, okay. So it's like if one of Natalia's friends was good at volleyball and I'd say, looking good, no homo. And he's like, no.
Anyway, that's enough for 8 hours.
Is no homo that big now? Is that?
I mean, I
passed.
think it came and went.
Yeah.
Well, you know how LA Unified is. They're always chasing it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But they're like...
Were those sad words?
They sat down and explained how no homos and no fly zone. I just love the idea that we have to sit down and have discussions to everybody about what they can say, what they can't say. Here's the thing. If you raise good citizens, they will then... It's sort of like... If you have criminals or you're raising criminals, you can't really explain to them all the things that are illegal.
Right.
But if you just raise good people who won't become criminals, then you can save your breath. You don't have to go
list every illegal thing.
kind of well. It's also it's pretty fluid. Like no homo didn't mean anything a few years back. Homo was short for homosexual. You could say it back in the day, like queer, whatever it is. You could say. So you're going to have to coach up a new class every single year in what they can say and can't say. Which is a fairly retarded way to go about education, huh?
You can't say
super
retarded.
tard.
No, you can't.
No tardo.
No.
I think
No tardo.
Any version
No
of
tardo.
tard. Any version of
It's
tard.
still not good.
It's better to just raise thoughtful, conscientious kids, and
That's
then
true.
they'll treat people right. And then if they do say no homo, it'll be in a joking fashion to one of their friends, and you won't have to get your fucking panties in a bunch.
Your homo panties.
How about that? We are fucking this notion that we have to teach kids no homo.
And, things change so quick. It's going to be every semester.
And also, 55-year-old middle-aged bra wearing a sweater she knitted herself. No homo. All it does is make fucking 12-year-olds laugh.
Yeah.
The funniest parts of my childhood were Mrs. Parker explaining how the women's reproductive organs
Well, that
worked
was
and stuff. It's just
the red
it's
letter day.
One fucking joke after another. But anyway.
Do you want to see Mr. Radburn get married or not?
Yes, I do. No
so
homo.
the plot twist.
Yes, homo.
So the woman they saw at lunch, Jane Lynch, that's Mr. Radburn's sister, not his fiance. So instead, Radburn is marrying another male aardvark.
Are
named Patrick.
they going with a gay Avenger? They're going with a gay Avenger, right?
Marvel said one of their superheroes will be announced as gay.
I thought Aquaman
Okay.
was gay.
He should be.
Captain
Sorry.
Marvel's kind of asexual.
Sorry.
So here's a clip from Arthur.
Captain America's essentially gay. Keeps an old picture of, his Betty from 1942 and just stares
He's
at it.
essentially celibate,
a lot.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
You can say anything you like.
Jane Lynch.
We think this tent looks beautiful. Thank
They're at the
you.
wedding.
But nothing is too good for my baby brother, Nige. Now, Rodentia, don't be jealous. I'll officiate at your wedding, too.
Rodentia.
Rodentia. Oh.
But if Patty's his sister, then who is Mr. Radburn marrying?
Here they come.
The two. What
winks
are
at the
they?
camera.
Aardvarks.
Aardvarks. All right.
There
All
you
right.
go.
We're evolved. Problem solved.
We did it.
Moving forward. We're so good. It's awesome. All right. It's such a weird time we're living in. Like, we got to teach these kids about their sexuality and how fluid it is and homosexuality. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I just figured everything out on my own. And then you started hearing about gay marriage or transgender, whatever. And I was like, yeah, all right. It's just, you shouldn't care that much.
Doesn't move the needle anymore.
No, I think we're wrong. I think we're wrong in thinking that we need to lay everything out for kids all the time. Like, who's going to teach them that it's not okay to touch other people's gender? It's like, they know. They know. If you come from a semblance of a family and a semblance of a society, you know it's not okay to grab people's genitalia on public transportation. But who? It's like a lot of like coaching and talking. Alyssa Milano lays next to her sleeping daughter. She weeps.
Yeah,
She weeps. You don't stop. I made it through life. I know everything. I've had 0 conversations with any family members. 0. I never talked to my mom about shit. I talked to her about Dorothy Gravitch getting scones somewhere. That's the only knowledge she ever passed on to me. My fucking dad doesn't know anything, and he never said a thing to me, but yet I figured things out.
Here we are.
Here you
And
are.
I went to a shitty school system where they didn't teach you anything. Well, how did I glean so much information out
You
of
should be a
life?
feral child.
Yeah.
Yes, fucking open your eyes and put your head on a swivel, would you, people? All right, one more.
All right. Well, this will make you happier. The oldest surviving sports car built by Porsche is heading to auction this summer and expected to sell for a historic price, according to Fox
Really?
News.
Somebody
Yes.
tweeted me this.
I might need your help with some of the specifics, but the Type 64, I think we have a picture.
Yeah.
Type 64 was the
48,
third.
44, 48.
Yeah, actually a little bit older. It was the
That's a rocket ship.
It is crazy looking. It was the third of a series built by Ferdinand Porsche and his son Ferry between 1939 and 1940. Based on the chassis of the KDF wagon, which was also designed by the elder Porsche and would spawn the Volkswagen Beetle, the Type 64 was originally built to compete in a race from Berlin to Rome that was canceled after the outbreak of World War II. Sotheby's hasn't put an
Yeah, we're not
estimate.
going to be doing that anymore.
They haven't put a value on the car, but they do have a figure that's being tossed around. Would you like to guess, or would you like me to tell you?
It's funny. I'm looking at a little sticker on it, 71 and 60 on the fender. If you guys know what that means.
Well, one of them, would it be the number of, I'm 71 of 100 cars made?
Nope. That sticker was put there a year ago on the side of the thing. That's the Goodwood sticker. If you look at my Porsche, you'll see in the window the same thing. When you go to Goodwood,
Oh, that's
they
cool.
put a sticker on your car that says Goodwood, and here's your run group or whatever it is. And most people, you kind of leave them on like merit badges you sew onto a vest or something.
Like ski passes.
Yeah, the events you do, the place the cars traveled to,
Passport stamps.
Yeah.
yeah, how many times it's been at the Rolex Historics, they put the tech sticker on the windshield, and you see the guys with 20 tech stickers.
cool.
That guy's a KG veteran. So
what do you think the numbers being bandied about is?
I saw this car. I can't remember. Were you with us, Max Pat? You didn't go to Rennsport with us this year, did you? We saw this car, and we even did a little stand-up in front of it, I think, me and Matt D'Andrea. It was like in the Porsche tent. Okay, so
Crazy looking.
it's very streamlined looking. It's a finesse thing.
It's seaworthy.
Old-timey rocket.
Well, so the top of the food chain for automotive sales are Ferrari GTOs. They say some have traded for $60 or $70 million, but that's not the highest auction price. So we're trying to figure out the auction price here. I think the highest auction is a Ferrari GTO at 47 or 47 and change, 48 million bucks. This doesn't seem like that, but on the other hand, some of this German stuff's insane and Porsche stuff's insane, and I'm trying to think what it could be. And are you saying that they think it's going to break a record?
Well, they said it's a historic price, not necessarily a record breaker, but this is the estimate on the value that's being tossed around. So it might be off, but this is what they're guessing.
And did you say it was RM or Gooding, or what did you say it was?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't say the auction
Sorry,
house?
no.
All
Oh,
right.
Sotheby's.
Sotheby's. Sotheby's is affiliated with RM.
Yeah.
Yeah, RM Sotheby's. Okay. Now, the Ferrari went for $48.4 million. I don't think this is going to get that high. I'm going to say between 35 and 40 million bucks.
No, you're way off, dude. What do I know?
I have no idea.
Well, that is a little high. They think that it's going to be valued at $20 million.
All right.
You
I
want
thought
it?
it was, yeah, I'll take it. I was going to break a record for some reason in my head. But, all right, 20 million. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We'll go down there.
Be this summer.
We'll go down and put eyeballs on that bad boy. And if you walk up on that car, so if you walk up on a Ferrari GTO, you're going to see a lot of car.
Okay.
You walk up on this car, you're going to see a VW Bug.
Yeah. Okay.
Like in terms of its scale and the tires and the engine. I think it's got a flat, air-cooled 4-cylinder. It's got a VW engine in it. I mean, it's a nothing. That engine doesn't make 100 horsepower.
Right. Yeah, that's what they mentioned, that it would spawn the Bug, the Beetle.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like it's under 100 horsepower. It's a VW. You wouldn't see $20 million worth of rig.
Gadgets.
It's not like buying a house.
Right.
You buy a $20 million house, you see $20 million worth of house.
Yeah, a lot of gold plating.
This is how many? You said there was 3? Oh, they made 3 altogether or something?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we saw a black one at Rensport, Max Pat. It was probably under the tent somewhere. Anyway.
So there you go.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
We're racing the Porsche. Bring it on home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Son, you outkicked your coverage.
Gina.
That was the news with Gina Grad.